Do not scroll past this video. I know you have heard those words before from countless sources. I know many messages have claimed to be urgent and important. I know your heart has been calloused by promises that never materialized and words that sounded beautiful but changed nothing in your actual life. But I need you to understand something that will fundamentally transform how you see everything that has happened in your life up until this exact, precise moment in time. 20 years ago, someone got on their knees and prayed specifically for you. They may have passed on from this world since then, and their body may rest in the ground while their spirit watches from heaven. They may still be alive, but no longer present in your daily life due to circumstances neither of you could control. They may have even forgotten that prayer themselves, lost in the countless prayers they have spoken over the years. But I did not forget. Heaven does not forget. Not a single word spoken in faith before my throne has ever been lost or overlooked. And tonight, in this very hour, at this precise moment in your existence, that prayer is being answered in ways that will leave you absolutely speechless. You were not supposed to find this message tonight. The algorithm was not designed to bring this specific video to you at this specific time. There were 73 other videos you could have clicked on, 73 other voices competing for your attention. But something pulled you here. Something that defied logic. Something that bypassed the normal patterns of your browsing behavior. That pull was not coincidence. That pull was not random chance or meaningless luck. That pull was destiny itself reaching through the digital noise of the modern world to grab hold of the one person who was ready to receive what I am about to release. That person is you. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you. 3 separate attacks were launched against your life in the last 40 days alone. You felt the heaviness pressing down on your shoulders, but could not identify its source. You sensed that something was deeply wrong in the atmosphere around you, but could not put words to what it was. There were moments when you felt like you were drowning in plain sight, while everyone around you seemed to be breathing just fine. That was warfare. That was not normal life difficulty. That was not just stress or anxiety or the pressures of modern existence. That was a coordinated spiritual assault against someone the enemy recognized as a serious threat to everything he has built in this realm. My precious child, before I tell you what is coming into your life, I need you to fully understand what you have already survived. The loneliness you have carried was not natural or normal. It was engineered by forces that wanted to destroy you before you could step into your calling. The isolation you have experienced was not because something is fundamentally wrong with you as a person. It was because something is profoundly right with you, something so powerful that it terrified forces you cannot see with your natural eyes. I watched you reach out to people who should have been there for you during your darkest moments. I saw the text messages you sent that were left unread for days or weeks, or never responded to at all. I witnessed the phone calls you made that went straight to voicemail, your voice echoing into digital emptiness. I observed the invitations that were never extended to you, the gatherings where your seat remained empty because no one thought to include you in their plans. And each time this happened, a piece of your heart hardened just a little more. Each rejection, whether intentional or thoughtless, reinforced the lie that you were somehow unworthy of genuine connection, that you were undeserving of authentic community, that you were destined to walk this difficult path completely and utterly alone. But let me tell you what was really happening behind the scenes during all of those painful moments. I was filtering the relationships in your life. I was strategically removing people who did not have the capacity to go where I am taking you. I was clearing your inner circle not to punish you with loneliness, but to prepare you for connections of such profound depth that what you lost will feel like nothing compared to what is coming into your life. Some of those people who left or never showed up were actually sent by the enemy disguised as friends and allies. Their secret assignment was to distract you from your purpose, drain your energy and resources, and ultimately destroy the calling I placed on your life before you were formed in your mother's womb. I removed them before they could complete their destructive mission. Others were simply not built with the capacity to handle the level of elevation that is coming to your life. If they had remained in your inner circle during your season of increase, their jealousy would have poisoned everything I was trying to build in and through you. Their insecurity would have placed invisible limitations on your expansion. Their small thinking and limited vision would have contaminated the grand vision I have placed in your heart. My dear one, I protected you through the painful process of isolation. I know it hurt deeply. I know there were countless nights when the silence in your home felt absolutely deafening. I know there were agonizing moments when you would have given anything just to have someone truly see you and understand the weight of what you were carrying. But the wilderness was never meant to be your permanent address. It was always meant to be your training ground, the place where I could shape you without interference, the place where your character could be refined without distraction, the place where your dependence on me could grow stronger than your dependence on human approval. You have been in preparation for something that will require every single ounce of strength you developed during that lonely season. The resilience you built when no one was clapping for you or acknowledging your efforts. The faith you maintained when there was absolutely no visible evidence that I was working on your behalf. The hope you stubbornly held on to when every logical argument screamed at you to give up and accept defeat. All of it was preparation. All of it was purpose in disguise. All of it was leading you with precision to this exact moment in time. My beloved, let me tell you about the spiritual battle that has been raging over your destiny in the heavenly realm. 7 years ago, something significant shifted concerning your life. A decree was issued from my throne that marked you for unprecedented favor and blessing. The moment that decree went forth from my mouth, hell itself mobilized against you with an intensity you had never experienced before in your entire existence. The first attack came against your mind with relentless fury. Thoughts that were not your own began flooding your consciousness at all hours of the day and night. Voices of doubt whispering that you would never amount to anything. Declarations of worthlessness that felt like your own thoughts, but originated in the pit of hell. Screams of fear that seemed to come from nowhere, yet echoed constantly in your head. You thought you were losing your grip on reality during those dark seasons. You questioned your own sanity multiple times. You wondered if the darkness inside your head would ever lift, or if this mental torment was your permanent condition. That was not mental weakness or chemical imbalance alone. That was spiritual warfare strategically disguised as psychological distress. The enemy knew with certainty that if he could capture your mind, he could completely derail your destiny. So he deployed his most effective weapons against your thought life. The second attack came against your finances with surgical precision. Just when you thought you were about to break through into stability, something unexpected would happen. An emergency expense you could not have predicted. A job that ended without any warning. A deal that fell through at the very last moment when you were counting on it most. You watched others around you prosper and increase while you struggled desperately just to keep your head above water. You worked harder than most and had less to show for it. You made wise decisions that somehow led to poor outcomes. Nothing made sense through the lens of natural logic. That was not bad luck or poor decision-making on your part. That was a strategic assault on your provision because the enemy understands that lack creates distraction. and distraction prevents destiny from manifesting. When you are constantly worried about survival, you have no mental or emotional capacity left to pursue purpose. The third attack came against your relationships with devastating effectiveness. The people closest to you began acting strangely without explanation. Arguments erupted over absolutely nothing of substance. Trust was broken without clear cause or reason. People you had known for years suddenly felt like strangers inhabiting familiar bodies. Meanwhile, strangers you barely knew were somehow being positioned as your closest confidants, speaking into your life, influencing your decisions. This was not natural relationship deterioration. This was the enemy attempting to surround you with wrong voices while systematically driving away the ones who could genuinely help you fulfill your calling. My chosen one, you need to fully absorb what I am saying to you right now. You survived attacks that have completely destroyed others who seemed stronger than you. The same intensity of warfare that was aimed at your life has taken out people with more resources, more connections, more education, more natural advantages. They crumbled under pressure that you somehow withstood. They abandoned their calling while you kept pressing forward, even when you could not see the path ahead. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still listening to this message. You are still believing, even if that belief is hanging by the thinnest thread imaginable. That is not luck or random chance. That is not coincidence or accident. That is evidence of a grace that has been sustaining you through battles you were never designed to fight alone. And now the tide is finally, dramatically turning. Let me tell you in specific detail what is about to happen in your life over the next 21 days. The prayer that was prayed for you 2 decades ago contains specific requests that I am now fully prepared to fulfill. The person who prayed did not fully understand the magnitude of what they were asking for. They simply loved you enough to bring your name before my throne and ask for my supernatural intervention in your life. They prayed for your protection, and because of that single prayer, every attack that should have succeeded against your life failed at the last moment. Every accident that should have happened was diverted by unseen hands. Every disease that was assigned to attach itself to your body was blocked at the entrance and could not gain access. You have been walking in a protective covering that you did not even know existed, shielded by words spoken 20 years ago. They prayed for your provision, and while it may have seemed like lack was your constant companion through the years, I need you to look closer at your history. There was always enough. Somehow, even when the mathematics of your situation said you should have gone completely under, you survived. Bills that should have buried you were mysteriously paid. Needs that should have gone unmet were unexpectedly covered. That was not your cleverness or good fortune. That was a 20-year-old prayer creating a supernatural supply line from heaven directly to your situation. They prayed for your purpose. And even though you have felt lost and confused about your direction for what feels like forever, there has been a golden thread of meaning running through even your darkest days. Something inside you kept reaching for more, because a prayer spoken 2 decades ago was continuously pulling you toward your destiny. Now the fullness of that prayer is about to manifest in visible, tangible, undeniable ways. My treasured one, within the next 21 days, you will receive a financial breakthrough that has been held in divine suspension, waiting for this exact moment. I am speaking specifically, and I do not waste words on vague generalities. The amount that is coming to you is not random or approximate. It corresponds exactly to what was stolen from you in the last 7 years of warfare. Every opportunity that was blocked by enemy interference. Every deal that was sabotaged at the point of completion. Every promotion that was hijacked and given to someone less qualified. The total value of all of it is being released back to you with interest that has been accumulating in heavenly accounts. You may feel heat rising in your hands right now as I speak these words over your life. That sensation is not imagination or wishful thinking. That is spiritual confirmation of what I am declaring. Your hands are being anointed specifically for receiving what has been held back from you. Someone who has owed you money for years is about to pay their debt in full. Not because their conscience suddenly bothered them or because they had a random change of heart. I am actively moving on the hearts of those who have withheld what rightfully belongs to you. They will not understand why they suddenly feel compelled to make things right. They will just know with certainty that they cannot have peace until they do. A source of income that does not yet exist in your current reality is about to open before you. This is not something you will have to chase or pursue or network your way into. It will chase you. It will find you. It will position itself directly in your path in such an obvious and undeniable way that you will know beyond any shadow of doubt that my hand alone orchestrated it. My precious child, the second area of transformation concerns your health and your physical energy. Something has been systematically draining you for longer than you can clearly remember. A fatigue that goes far beyond physical tiredness and cannot be explained by lack of sleep. An exhaustion that even the deepest sleep does not seem to cure or improve. A heaviness in your very body that has made even simple daily tasks feel monumentally difficult. This is not normal aging. This is not merely the stress of modern life. There has been a spiritual attachment siphoning your vitality, feeding off your energy, keeping you perpetually depleted so you would not have the strength to pursue your purpose. Within these 21 days, that drain is being completely disconnected. The cord that has been siphoning your life force is being permanently severed by angelic intervention. You will wake up one morning very soon and realize with shock that you feel completely different. The heaviness will have lifted like fog burning off in morning sunlight. The mental fog will have cleared. Energy you forgot you were even capable of having will return to your body. This is not positive thinking trying to override reality. This is not wishful hoping that may or may not come true. This is prophetic declaration spoken directly over your physical body that is backed by all the authority and power of heaven itself. The third area of transformation concerns your clarity and your sense of direction. You have been stuck at an impossible crossroads for far too long. Multiple paths stretch before you in different directions, and you have been completely paralyzed by the fear of choosing wrong. Every time you start moving in one direction with any confidence, doubt floods in like a wave and you retreat back to the intersection of indecision. That paralysis ends within these 21 days. You will receive vision so specific and so clear that the right path will illuminate brightly while all other options fade into obvious irrelevance. You will not have to guess which way to go. You will not have to agonize over pros and cons lists. You will know with a certainty that settles deep in your bones and cannot be argued with by any voice of doubt. My dear one, I have specific instructions for you that require your immediate attention and action. These are not optional suggestions for you to consider at your leisure. These are not ideas to think about when it becomes convenient in your busy schedule. These are direct commands issued from the throne room of heaven, and your blessing is tied directly and inseparably to your obedience. First, you must break your agreement with the voice of the accuser. For years, without fully realizing it, you have been internally agreeing with thoughts about yourself that did not originate with me. When that dark voice whispered that you were worthless, you nodded internally in agreement. When it insisted that you would never amount to anything meaningful, you accepted it as established fact. When it declared that others deserved blessing and favor, but you somehow deserved only struggle and lack, You made room for that lie to take up residence in your belief system. Tonight, that agreement is being officially annulled, but you must actively participate in the breaking. Say these words out loud right now, wherever you are, regardless of who might hear you. This is too important for embarrassment or self-consciousness to have any vote in your response. Say this: I break my agreement with every lie that has ever been spoken over my life. I reject the voice of the accuser completely and permanently. I refuse to accept any identity that does not align perfectly with what my Creator says about me. I am valuable beyond measure. I am worthy of love and blessing. I am chosen for purpose. I am destined for far more than what I have experienced. And from this moment forward, I will only agree with heaven's declaration over my existence. The moment those words left your mouth, something significant shifted in the spiritual realm. Chains that have been wrapped around your thinking for years began to crack and weaken. Agreements that were binding your breakthrough began to dissolve like mist in sunlight. Do not underestimate the magnitude of what just happened in response to those words. Second, you must eliminate the source of spiritual compromise that has been contaminating your life. There is something you have been secretly holding on to that you know in your heart does not belong in the life of someone walking in the calling I have placed on you. It might be a habit you carefully hide from others who know you. It might be an attachment to something that feels relatively harmless, but consistently drains your spiritual sensitivity. It might be an ongoing connection to a person who pulls you away from my presence every single time you are with them. You know exactly what it is. The moment I mentioned compromise, something very specific came immediately to mind. Do not pretend it did not. Do not try to convince yourself that I am talking about something else or someone else. The conviction you feel in your heart right now is my spirit speaking truth to you directly. Within the next 12 hours, you need to remove it completely from your life. This is not a request for gradual reduction over time. This is not an invitation to create a comfortable plan for future elimination when you feel more ready. This is an urgent directive that carries a specific deadline, because what I am about to release into your life requires space that this thing is currently occupying. Every single day you delay in obedience is another day your breakthrough is postponed. The choice belongs to you, but the consequences of that choice are very real and very significant. Third, you must establish a consistent practice of morning declaration. Before you engage with the noise and demands of the world each day, before you check the news headlines that inevitably steal your peace, before you scroll through social media feeds that make you compare your real life to the curated highlight reels of others, you must first establish the truth of who you are and what is coming. For the next 21 days without exception, I need you to speak these declarations before your feet touch the floor each morning. This day is marked for supernatural blessing. Divine appointments will find me wherever I go. Favor will follow me like a shadow in every situation. What the enemy meant for evil is being actively transformed for my good. I walk in complete protection. I walk in abundant provision. I walk in clear purpose. Heaven is backing every step I take. The power of the spoken word is far greater than you have understood until now. What you declare with your mouth literally shapes the spiritual atmosphere around your life. For too long, you have been speaking death instead of life, complaints instead of thanksgiving, fears instead of faith, doubts instead of declarations, words that align with the enemy's agenda for your destruction instead of mine for your flourishing. Starting tomorrow morning, you will begin to reshape your world with your words. You will speak what I say about you until my truth drowns out every contradicting voice that has been given any authority in your thinking. My faithful one, Let me speak now to the deepest wound hiding in your heart. I know about the person who was supposed to love you unconditionally, but instead became the source of your greatest pain and trauma. I know about the parent who was physically absent, or perhaps present in body, but emotionally unavailable in ways that left scars just as deep. I know about the spouse or partner who took the sacred trust you offered and deliberately shattered it into pieces so small you wondered if you could ever gather them together again. I saw what happened in that room that no one else knows about to this day. I witnessed the exact words that were spoken over you that carved themselves into your identity and have been playing on repeat in your mind ever since. I observed the moments when your innocence was stolen without your consent, when your sense of safety was violently violated, when the very people who should have protected you became the ones you desperately needed protection from. You have carried that crushing weight for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to stand up straight. You have built your entire life around avoiding that pain, around proving that it did not completely break you, around pretending to the world that you are fine when every night when the world finally gets quiet, that old wound starts bleeding fresh all over again. I am here to heal what no human hand could ever touch. I am here to restore what you thought was permanently destroyed. The unforgiveness you are carrying toward those who hurt you is not protecting you as you believe. It is slowly poisoning you from the inside out. Every single day that bitterness remains lodged in your heart is another day you remain chained to your worst memories. Your complete healing is being held hostage by your hatred. I am not asking you to pretend that what they did was acceptable or understandable. Some of it was pure evil, and I witnessed every moment of it. I am not requiring you to reconcile with people who have not earned the right to ever be close to you again. Forgiveness and reconciliation are two entirely different things. Some relationships should remain permanently closed for your protection, but I am asking you to release them from the debt they owe you, not for their sake, for yours. Say their name right now, the one who hurt you most deeply. Let it come up from the depths where you have buried it for protection, and then speak these words over them with your mouth. I release you from the debt you owe me. I forgive you not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to be free. I will no longer carry the weight of what you did to me. I am handing it to the one who judges righteously, and I am walking forward into a future that you no longer have any claim on. Those tears streaming down your face right now are not weakness. They are release after years of holding on. They are cleansing of poison that has been stored too long. They are years of accumulated pain finally finding an exit from your soul. Let them flow without restriction. Do not wipe them away quickly. Each drop is carrying something toxic out of you that has been taking up space meant for joy and peace. My cherished one, let me tell you who you really are underneath all the pain and lies. You are not the sum of your failures or mistakes. You are not defined by your worst moment or your deepest shame. You are not limited by what they said you would become. You are not disqualified by the sins you have committed or the wrong paths you have walked. You are my masterpiece, crafted with deliberate intention before time itself began. You are royalty, whether you feel like it or not. You carry spiritual DNA that connects you directly to the throne room of heaven itself. When I look at you, I do not see the mess you think you are. I see the powerful message that your life is specifically designed to carry to a world that desperately needs it. The bloodline patterns that have repeated for generations in your family end with you. The poverty mentality that has kept your entire family limited for as long as anyone can remember stops in your life. The addiction that has claimed so many victims in your lineage loses its power completely at your feet. The broken relationship cycles that have characterized your family history are being rewritten starting now with your generation. You are the breakthrough generation your ancestors prayed for. You are the turning point they hoped would come. Your children and grandchildren will look back at this season of your life and recognize it clearly as the moment everything changed for your entire family line. The enemy knows this truth about you. That is precisely why the attacks against you have been so unusually intense. That is exactly why he has tried so desperately hard to take you out before your time. He is not fighting against who you have been in your weakness. He is fighting against who you are becoming in my strength. But he has already lost this battle. My beloved, do you remember what I told you at the very beginning of this message? 20 years ago, someone prayed specifically for you. That prayer has been working on your behalf every single day since it was first spoken. It has been protecting you when you did not know you needed protection. It has been guiding you when you thought you were wandering aimlessly through life. It has been preserving you for a moment that you could not see coming until now. This is that moment. Tonight, in this very hour, that 20-year-old prayer reaches its full and complete manifestation. Everything it asked for is being released simultaneously into your reality. The protection becomes visible in tangible ways. The provision becomes something you can touch and count. The purpose becomes clear as crystal water. You are not waiting for some distant future breakthrough that may or may not arrive. The breakthrough is happening now, in real time, as these words enter your spirit and activate what has been dormant inside you for years. The door that has been locked and sealed for 7 long years is swinging open right now. You will hear it in your spirit if you listen carefully. A click of the lock releasing, a creak of hinges moving after years of stillness, an opening where there was only wall before. Something that was completely impossible yesterday is becoming wonderfully possible as I speak these words over you. Go in power, my child. The same power that parted seas and raised the dead from their graves dwells inside of you at this very moment. Go in purpose. The confusion is lifting like morning fog. The clarity is coming like sunrise. What you are meant to do with your life is about to become completely undeniable. Go in peace. No weapon formed against you will prosper from this day forward. Every tongue that rises against you in judgment will be silenced and put to shame. You are protected by a love that never fails and never ends and never gives up on you. The person who prayed for you 20 years ago may never know in this lifetime what their simple prayer accomplished in the spiritual realm. But you will know. And every blessing you walk in, every breakthrough you experience, every victory you celebrate will be connected by invisible threads to those words they spoke over you when you were not even old enough to understand what prayer meant. That is the power of faithful prayer. That is the reliability of heaven's response. That is why I never forget a single word spoken in faith, even when the one who spoke it has long forgotten. 12 angels have been reassigned specifically to your breakthrough as of this moment. They are no longer waiting for orders or instructions. They have received their mandate directly from my throne. The command is clear and carries absolute authority. Accelerate everything that concerns this chosen one. Remove every obstacle. Clear every path. Open every door. Within 21 days, you will have tangible, undeniable evidence of what I am declaring over you tonight. Not vague feelings of optimism, not general improvement that could be explained by coincidence. Specific, measurable, undeniable manifestation of promises that you had given up on ever seeing fulfilled in your lifetime. Mark this date in your memory. Save this message so you can return to it. Come back to these words when you need to remember what was spoken over you, because the days ahead will test your faith, not because I am withdrawing blessing, but because breakthrough always attracts resistance from the enemy. He is not going to simply accept that you are walking confidently into your destiny. He will launch counterattacks designed to steal what you have received tonight. He will attempt to steal the seed of faith that is being planted in you right now. He will send distractions, discouragement, and delay tactics to make you doubt what you have heard. But you will not be moved from this foundation, because you know now with certainty. You know that 20 years of faithful prayer has brought you to this exact moment. You know that the protection surrounding you has been absolutely impenetrable. You know that the breakthrough is not a distant possibility, but an imminent promise. Rise, my precious one. Rise and walk boldly into what has been prepared for you. Rise with the confidence of someone who knows they are fully backed by heaven itself. Rise with the assurance of someone who has survived every attack the enemy could throw at them. Rise with the expectation of someone who knows that the next 21 days will change absolutely everything. There is something else I need to tell you before we end this sacred conversation. The person who prayed for you 20 years ago did not pray a small prayer. They did not offer casual words before rushing off to other activities. They travailed. They wept. They interceded with a burden so heavy that they could not rest until they had poured out their heart on your behalf. Perhaps it was a grandmother whose knees were worn from years of prayer. Perhaps it was a mother who could not sleep because she sensed something concerning your future that she could not articulate. Perhaps it was a father who rarely showed emotion, but who secretly carried you before my throne in the quiet hours when no one was watching. Perhaps it was a stranger who felt prompted to pray for a child they would never meet, obeying an impulse they did not fully understand. Whoever they were, their prayer created a canopy of protection over your life that has been operating continuously for 2 decades. It created a pathway of provision that has kept you from destruction more times than you will ever know. It created a trajectory of purpose that has been pulling you forward, even when you felt like you were standing completely still. That is the mystery of intercession. That is the power of prayer that transcends time and space and human understanding. Words spoken in one moment echo across decades, creating ripples that shape realities the one who prayed could never have imagined. You are living proof that prayer works. You are walking evidence that heaven responds. You are a testimony to faithfulness that bridges generations. Let me tell you what is happening in the spiritual realm right now as you receive these words. Angels that have been waiting for this moment are now moving into position around your life. Not general protection, but specific assignment. Each one carries a mandate that corresponds to a particular area of breakthrough you need. One is assigned to your finances, another to your relationships, another to your health, another to your purpose. They have been briefed. They have been deployed. They are operational. The enemy is aware that something has shifted. He can sense the change in the atmosphere around your life. He will try to convince you that nothing happened here tonight. He will whisper tomorrow morning that you were just emotional. He will suggest that this message was just entertainment that has no real bearing on your actual circumstances. Do not listen to him. He is a liar, and he has always been a liar. He is terrified of what is about to happen in your life, and his only remaining strategy is to make you doubt what you have received. But you know the truth now. You have felt it resonate in places that lies cannot reach. You have recognized the voice of your Father speaking directly to your situation with specificity that proves this was not coincidence or chance. Something broke off of you tonight, something that has been attached for years, something that has been draining your hope and dimming your vision. It lost its grip when you spoke those words of forgiveness. It released when you made the decision to remove the compromise. It fled when you declared your true identity. You are not the same person you were when this message started. You have been transformed by truth. You have been liberated by love. You have been repositioned by revelation. The next 3 weeks of your life are going to be unlike anything you have experienced. Every morning will carry new possibility. Every conversation will hold potential for divine connection. Every situation will contain hidden opportunity that would have remained invisible to your old eyes, but will be clearly visible to your renewed vision. Watch for the signs I will send to confirm what has been spoken over you tonight. They will come in unexpected ways. A song on the radio with lyrics that speak directly to your situation. A conversation with a stranger who unknowingly delivers a message you desperately needed to hear. A dream in the night that reveals what is happening behind the scenes. A number that keeps appearing, catching your attention, reminding you that heaven is orchestrating details you cannot see. These signs are not for your entertainment. They are for your encouragement. They are heaven's way of saying, I am with you. I have not forgotten. Everything I promised is in motion. I am with you. I have always been with you, even when you felt alone. I will never leave you or forsake you, regardless of what happens. And I always keep my promises. Always. Without exception. The prayer that was prayed 20 years ago is answered completely. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. Tonight, in this very hour, as these final words settle deep into your spirit, go in power, go in purpose, go in peace. Your 21 days of transformation begin right now, and when you look back at this moment from the other side of your breakthrough, you will understand with perfect clarity that tonight was when everything changed. Tonight was when heaven moved decisively on your behalf. Tonight was when a 20-year-old prayer finally, fully, completely reached its glorious manifestation. You were worth the wait. You were worth the fight. You were worth every prayer that was ever spoken over your life. And I'm about to prove it in ways that will leave you speechless with overwhelming gratitude. Watch what I am about to do. Watch and believe. And never forget that someone loved you enough to pray for you 20 years ago. That love has sustained you. That prayer has protected you. And tonight, that faith is being rewarded in full. You are blessed. You are chosen. You are mine. Now go and walk in everything that has been prepared for you since before you were born.